Hey y'all, welcome to Clutch City Talks with your host Ty, and today we're going to be doing a Rockets rebuild. So my dream starting five for the next season, in order for us to get that ring, will have to be with Cade Cunningham at point guard, Kevin Porter Jr. as shooting guard, Jalen Johnson as small forward, Christian Wood as power forward, and Karl Anthony Towns as center. If you are a Rockets fan just like myself, we are at the bottom of the league, but honestly I feel like, in my opinion, that Silas did that purposely. So my theory is Silas did this on purpose so he could get the first round draft pick, and that's why we have the 14% chance that we have. He was doing things like putting Eric Gordon out and David Nwaba with these minor energies, and honestly I don't even feel like John Wall was that unhealthy. So yeah, it seemed like he did it on purpose just so he can have the first round draft pick, or that chance at the first round draft pick. Honestly, with every mock draft that I've seen, and even the mock drafts that I've done, we've gotten Cade Cunningham. So since this is my rebuild, that's who I want to put as the point guard. I just think that he will fit our team the best, especially with the height of 6'8". His weight is 220 pounds, and he's averaging about 20 points a game. He's shooting 40% from the three-point range, and, he's just really the top pick. Despite having 4 assists, he's a floor general and a great passer. And with the 7'2" wingspan, that makes him really great with offensive rebounds. With the perimeter and interior defense, it's average, but with Silas, we saw what he's done with Kevin Porter Jr. We saw what he's done with Christian Wood. I think that he'll end up being above average with those defenses. But what I know for sure is that he'll be a great offensive threat, especially playing alongside Kevin Porter Jr. So I'm putting Kevin Porter Jr. as a shooting guard. So he's usually playing our point guard, but we've already seen how that worked with Chris Paul and James Harden and Kyrie Irving, and James Harden and Russell Westbrook. We've already seen when we have 2 point guards that share the floor at the same time, that is basically hard to stop. And James Harden is Kevin Porter Jr.'s mentor. We've seen James Harden average about 30 points playing both shooting guard and point guard. So I have no doubts that Kevin Porter Jr. will be able to do the same as the backup pointing guard for Cade Cunningham and our starting shooting guard for this Rockets rebuild. In our last 10 games, he averaged 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 41% at three-point range. At 6'4" and 203 pounds, he's a great isolation player, which gives him the opportunity to create his own shots. He also has good catch-and-shoot capabilities. He's the youngest player to drop 50 points and 11 assists in an NBA game. So if that doesn't give you hopes about this Rocky rebuild, then drafting Jalen Johnson definitely will. To get Jalen Johnson, we're going to have to be willing to trade over our 23rd and 24th pick of this year's draft, along with DJ Augustine, to whichever team gets him. I'll even be willing to trade in Danny House for him, to be honest. He's a 6'9" ball handler and an elite fast break finisher. He shot 44% from the three-point range, but that was only 8 out of 18. He only averaged 11 points, but I think that'll be completely different once he's playing in the NBA, especially alongside Cade Cunningham and Kevin Porter Jr. Their passing abilities would create more shot opportunities for him. He was an okay rim protector when he was playing power forward and center at Duke, but making him a small forward would give him a better size advantage against other players in the same position as him. If I was Stephen Silas, I would put Jalen Johnson as point forward and the first option for the Rockets G League team, the Vipers, for the first half of the season. And in the second half, I'll call him up to play small forward. By that time, Jalen Johnson's shot and passing IQ will have increased. His interior and perimeter defense will be better, so he'll be able to help our young core, Cade Cunningham and KPJ, create more shots for Karl Anthony Towns and Christian Wood. Jalen is like a light John Collins with his ability to catch and shoot threes and finish alley-oops at a high level. And some hints of Ben Simmons with his passing, fast break finishing, and overall athleticism. And with the springs under his feet, he can dunk over almost any defender. He just has to learn how to convert through contact. He'll inevitably learn that skill through Wood. Wood is never scared to meet a defender at the rim. Now, Wood is superb when it comes to getting to the bucket and scoring, whether it's a layup or dunk. He's not just an in-the-paint shooter. He's also scoring 37% from the three-point range. So this is opening up the floor for Cade Cunningham, KPJ, and Jalen Johnson. At 6'10" and 214 pounds, I feel he's better suited for the power forward position than center, because he just doesn't have the frame to defend against the bigger centers such as Joel Embiid and Nikola. Plus, he can get up the court faster with smaller power forwards and be a better defense in the paint with a 7-foot wingspan. So for my Rockets rebuild, Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. are the only players that are guaranteed to play in the Rockets starting five next season. They are already a dynamic duo and proven that with how well they play with each other at the end of this season. The same game that Kevin Porter Jr. dropped 50 points and 11 rebounds, Christian Wood also scored 31 points and 9 rebounds. So they scored 81 points collectively. So that's only 2 players from my starting five in my Rockets rebuild. So if that doesn't give you hope that we're going to get a ring next season, then the big cat will, Karl Anthony Towns. So we're going to have to do a lot to get him, but I think I have the perfect 3-team trade to get Towns to Houston. This trade will involve the New York Knicks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to give John Wall to the New York Knicks, and then the New York Knicks will give Mitchell Robertson to the Timberwolves. We'll also give Eric Gordon and DJ Wilson to the Timberwolves alongside a 2023 and 2024 first-round picks. There's already rumors circulating that the New York Knicks want John Wall. He's averaging about 21 points with 7 assists. And New York Knicks has that extra cap space, so that makes him a perfect fit for their team. Also, Mitchell Robertson is an above-average rim protector, which would give the Timberwolves that much-needed defense. Eric Gordon will help space the floor and put up numbers with D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, and Malik Beasley. DJ Wilson is just a great pick-and-pop and pick-and-roll option. Plus the 2 first-round picks, I think the Timberwolves are being well compensated. And the New York Knicks are getting what they're actually asking for, so it's a win-win for everybody. Bringing in Karl Anthony Towns is a really big deal. Coming in at 6'11" and 250 pounds, he's a true 3-level scorer. Averaging 25 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 39% at the 3-point range. I mean, he's a catch-and-shoot sniper. He's going to finish alley-oops and chase rebounds on the offensive and defensive end. He has so many post moves, and he can stretch the court with his precise 3-point shooting. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, offensive threat at the 5. Added to the 81-point duo, Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr., and the 6'8" future All-Star point guard Cade, with the 6'9" slasher from Duke, Jalen. This is my starting 5 to give Rockets that 3rd ring. I'm so excited for this rebuild and our possibilities. So feel free to comment below who you think will lead in points, steals, block, assist, and rebounds. Stay tuned for part 2 of our Rockets rebuild, where you'll see the bench that we picked out and why the person that we're getting in free agency will win 6th Man of the Year. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Houston Rockets and NBA content from Clutch City Talks. And here's more highlights from our new starting 5.
Are terrific finishes around the rim.
Look, the guy's special. He's 6'8". He can beat you off the bounce. He's got a runner in the lane. He shoots a 3. At the end of games, he's absolutely phenomenal.
He's clutch, man. He's a clutch player.
Here's Cunningham, the pull-up. Got it! Cold-blooded 3 with 9.8 seconds.
Step back from Cade Cunningham.
Oh, boy.
He goes out and demands the basketball. I mean, you can hear him clapping, give me the ball. He's just so under control. You just can't speed him up. He's not a great athlete, but he has the ability to get wherever he wants and then rise up with that 6'8" frame. And he's just got a wonderful delivery to the basket.
He shot 43% from the 3-point line, leads the Big 12 in scoring. Cade Cunningham is a guy that can put his team on his shoulders.
Just a freshman. He's a 6'8" point guard with a 7-foot wingspan.
He can get defensive rebound, initiate the fast break. The biggest thing is he's inclusive. He absolutely has joy in not only what he does, but what other people do.
He can score it at all 3 levels, but I love that he makes everyone around him better with the poise of an NBA vet.
Cunningham gives it up.
Nice pass, Cunningham.
Really understands taking what the defense gives, and that's what he loves to do most, set his teammates up.
He can see over the top, can make every pick and roll read, wants the ball in his hands, late clock.
At 6'8", playing against some of the best defensive guards in college basketball, they can't get underneath him, can't speed him up. He's terrific in ball screen situations. He has great vision, throws behind the back passes, on time, on target.
And he's a leader. He's constantly out there really trying to go after the players about doing certain things. Great leadership, and not in a nasty way. He does it in a really positive way.
He's incredible in pick and roll. You're reading that weak side defender who's committing to the roll man at the rim, throws a laser to the corner, creates a long closeout and a bucket for his teammates. So he can play that role.
Crazy. KP to the basket. Nice pass off inside to Tate for 2 and 1.
About the last 10 years, he's been among the league leaders in offensive rebounds.
Yeah, it's a great great years in Cleveland. Porter with the three.
The Rockets were swinging it around nicely. Porter with the strip. Finds Tate. And Kevin Porter Jr. is doing a little bit of everything.
Show him how it's done.
Perfect throw. That was the first turnover for the Rockets in the third quarter. Porter Jr. slashes one at the other end.
Trae Young gets it back outside. Nice steal by Porter. Here comes the youngster. Alley-oop inside to Sterling Brown.
We got to take this seriously, man. We're almost there. We're so close. Everybody keep your mask on. Let's work together on this.
Oh, what a great shot by Porter. So he's off. It'd be tough enough to have to start all over again after heart bleeds, but then you've got all these injuries to boot and all these young players. Look at that move. But that's something to look forward to right there. Kevin Porter, difference of about 12 seasons in experience. Rondo picked up by Tate. So far, good defensive possession by Houston. Collins stakes it in. It's blocked inside by Porter. Porter fires it up. Got it. Nice. How about this little on-the-job training, too, for Kevin Porter Jr.? Back out front again. Still 9 seconds on the shot clock. KP to the basket for 2, and the Rockets have taken the lead.
Crisp cuts, certainty in his game. 48 plays that way. He's got that European swagger to him. We can see more of that.
Porter right down the middle of the floor.
To the Celtics, you've got to recognize a lot of these.
Great carry to the basket. Takes it to the middle. Back outside to Wood. Get in there, finally. Fakes that three. Now he's got Schroeder on him. He ought to be able to work it down to the basket. And Wood does.
Rattling the cages a little bit, but I think by and large we're trying to be very patient.
Down in the post.
John Wall to Wood. And a foul. Stephen Silas has had to use, plus putting in a new offense. That's a pretty good offense right there. Harden. Ball back to Wood again. He's fouled. It counts.
He got it back. Here comes Harden, and the dunk is good. Here they lead 10-2. Nikola Jokic and long. Wood gonna try it again, and he knocks another one. Battle for the rebound. Wood lay it in. Get chance points for the good guys already. Now Wood, little Euro step, put it up and in. Harden slip it through to Wood. Got a wide open look. Nuggets can. Now Wood lets it go and knocks it in.
The altercations because we were just too small. There's Wall back outside again to Eric. Eric on the drive, lays it off to Wood for the likes that style quite that much with Doncic out of the game, and Wood takes it inside for 2 and 1.
Millsap with his 5th point.
So that right there is a soft hitch.
Now he gets it back from Wood. Alley-oop!
Awkward hand. He jumped off the wrong foot and still finished with his right hand.
Yay to inbound.
He runs staggers. Slips out of
Harris underneath, rejected by Towns, and we're going to overtime here in Orlando.
What a block by Karl Towns. Really quick. I mean, it's not even hardly out of his hands, and he's blocking the shot. It gets him to 40. I mean, wow. Randall's had a tough time handling. That is spectacular.
Well, Karl-Anthony Towns cleared for takeoff here in Los Angeles, California.
Fly by or not to fly by in those situations, Dave Vince.
Oh, Karl-Anthony Towns, welcome to the party.
The floor is spaced, and so Karl-Anthony Towns playing out instead of in post-up situations, fighting for position out there. He's got the ball in the past 3 years in a row.
Towns turns it over. Durant, blocked by Towns, who atones for his error on the offensive end.
Again, Karl-Anthony Towns taking on Draymond Green, who's just a tremendous defender. Towns gets back into the play. Andrew secures the rebound off the Towns block.
Bartman moment there. Of course, the stakes not nearly as high. Towns, speaking of high, man, did he get up for that slam.
That was unbelievable. The extension by Karl-Anthony Towns.
That's a lot of want to right there.